Flash! Ah! King of the Impossible! Okay, today I'm going to review Neca's Flash Gordon figure. I have always... I'm got to be honest about this. I do not remember being introduced to Flash Gordon because I don't remember a point in my life where I didn't know who Flash Gordon was. It was like, I cannot tell you that introductory point. It's like, I always knew who Flash Gordon was. Which is the weirdest thing. It's kind of like, I always knew who Superman was and I always knew who Flash Gordon was. Nothing else. Those are the two. I don't remember the introduction. It's been that far back. I don't remember a point in my life that I don't know either one of those two. So I'm opening with that. But I've always been a huge Flash Gordon fan. The, of course, 1983 movie, very campy, kind of funny, but it's so enjoyable. It's now a cult classic, but back in those days, it was so much fun. So much fun. And today it's fun. I mean, it's just really great. The Queen soundtrack to it, all of it is just so fun. My favorite, and I actually had to hunt this down on YouTube one night. I found it. There was a old 16-part serial on Saturday mornings done by Filmation. If you ever watch it, the guy who did the voice of Skeletor does the voice of Ming the Merciless. I think also that the guy who did it, Duncan's voice, Man at Arms voice for He-Man, also was doing Flash Gordon. I might be wrong about that because it's like sometimes the voices run together and they do change octaves and stuff. Definitely Ming the Merciless was a Skeletor though. And it's a fun show. And I'm not positive what year it came out. I think it was 1979, 1980, something like that. And you gotta think, a multi-part story that has a beginning, middle, and end in that early is kind of unusual for TV at the time. TV at the time was, very episodic. It just went, here's our adventure, here's our next adventure, here's our next adventure. This was a full story on a Saturday morning cartoon on Uppbeat all. So, yeah, I know a lot of people love to give Babylon 5 the credit for introducing the overarching storyline into a TV series. I'm like, Flash Gordon did it like 15 years before, man. And I mean, no knocks to Babylon 5, but give credit where it's due. That was on American television long before that happened. So, I digress a little bit. I'm just always surprised it was a cartoon, that did it first in this country. I mean, obviously, back over on England, that's the way TV is. I mean, it's just, TV shows have a beginning, middle, and end, and now we're kind of doing that now. So, odd how the tables have turned. Anyhow, back to the figure. My reasoning for bringing up the cartoon was that there was a line of toys from Mattel based off of that cartoon. Well, not based off because they weren't really quite the best likenesses of the cartoons, but they were okay. I mean, you gotta think, it was 1980s, man. I mean, it was typical Star Wars articulation, 5 points of articulation. Still got those figures somewhere, by the way. And I did find out NECA put out I think it was San Diego Comic-Con retro series of basically these figures repainted to look like those figures from the 1980s. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm not going to pay that kind of money for it, but that's cool. And even had the same card back on it. Didn't have the cross sell, but still. But I really, what I really like about this figure is that it invokes enough of that older figure that I really, really like it. Now, Messing around with the figure, and you'll notice I don't have any pictures of him with the sword on. That's because, and I had no idea. Um, Basically, there is a small space, and I'm showing you on Ming because it's a little bit more pronounced on Ming. You can see it better on the camera. And what I didn't realize what you had to do was push through that. I've not seen any. Uh, I looked through reviews too, and they just said, "Oh, it's just a hole right here." No, that hole is covered. If you're not careful, and you got to kind of look for it. And when you look for it, you just got to like get a little like toothpick or something. You just poke it through, and then you can just stick the sword onto the belt. But I mentioned it because did not see anyone else mention that, and I think that was a very important point. I was really upset. I was like, I can't put my sword on my Flash Gordon figure. And then I was like, oh, well, now yes, I can. But something you need to know about, just in case it ever becomes an issue, because it became an issue with me. I was distraught. I really had 5 minutes of total damnation there. It really bothered me. All right. And of course, Flash has a ton of accessories, as you would expect. He has his sword, he has his scabbard, he has his gun, he has gun blasts. Because, what's a gun without blasts? And swappable head. I like the head without the I don't know, what do you call those? Earmuffs? Yeah, helmet, whatever. Because I'm telling you, that's how much I don't care about that other head. I just don't even care what to call that. And some extra hands, of course. So, yeah, I think he looks much better with the more just normal head than the other one. And that's the one he comes on. And just really like it. So, yeah. All is said and done, what am I going to say? Flash! Ah! Okay, I'll stop singing. Flash, I'm going to give him 5 stars because that is just an awesome, awesome figure. I really like it. I dig it for what it is. Now, with Neca, they have it's like they live in a different world and have a different scale for everything. Okay, so here's Flash and Ming with some Marvel Legends, Rogue and Spider-Man. And, well, even though Flash is a football player, I think he's just a tiny bit too tall for that line. I mean, that's just my opinion. Here we see him beside some wrestlers, Big Van Vader and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now, this is my point with Mattel. I mean, you guys say this is a 6-inch line, but look at Hogan with Flash right there. That is amazing. That's. I mean, Hogan is like towering over Flash. So, I mean, if it's a 6-inch line, what rule are you all using? Never mind. Okay, now here is Flash and Ming with G.I. Joe Classified, Destro, and Storm Shadow. Now, Destro's supposed to be like 6'3", 6'5", something like that. And I mean, look at that. Flash is way over top of him. So, yeah. I mean, unless you want to make your Flash Gordon 7 foot, and I guess by default make Ming the Merciless 7 foot, yeah, go for it. So here's Flash and Ming beside of Han Solo and Grand Admiral Thorn. Again, Black Series, I don't think they go. I mean, just don't. Just don't go there. Okay, so now let's look at Ming for a second. And Ming, again, has another head. I think I like the helmeted head a little better. I'm just saying out loud. He has the same gun that Flash has. A different sword, a nice sword too. More of a cutlass than the sword that Flash comes with. And he has the same blast effects that Flash comes with. So, having seen the blast effects there with Flash earlier, I'm not going to really try to put those on there again because they are difficult to put on. And they have problems staying on. So I do caution you on the blast effects. I mean, once you get it secure enough, it works. Much prefer the swords though, especially with Ming. That sword is just wow. That is just an awesome, awesome sword. It's really good. And of course, he has a cloth cape. I'm not even gonna call it cloth goods. It's cloth. And it looks really nice. And I mean, it's not overly dramatic. It's not, it's just drapes kind of behind him. And I mean, it's kind of cape, you'd see you'd expect Ming the Merciless to wear. So, yet again, where am I going to rate this one? I got to go 5 stars again. This is a really awesome figure. Really, really dig Ming just as much as I dig Flash. It's just a really good pairing, a really good couple of figures. Really like them. Um, you know, I don't recommend Neca very often, but these two, yeah, definitely pick these up, even if you just mildly like Flash Gordon, because it's a cool line. So we'll wrap it up for Infinite Realms. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.